Hello and welcome back to the sexiest, most beautiful channel on the YouTube platform. I promised you guys I was gonna make a Lightyear review after watching it on Disney+, but I just never brought myself to doing it because I was too lazy, and I also just wasn't having it making a review for this film. But I still wanted to make a Lightyear related video, so I was like, what could I do that could be just as fun but also interesting related to this film? And after watching the movie at least a couple of times, I've watched Lightyear at least like 3 times since it's been up on Disney+, I finally came to the conclusion that this movie has a lot of flaws, and these flaws are things that could have easily been avoided or at least fixed or altered in any way. So that's kind of what this video is about. I'm gonna give you my top 5 ways to fix Lightyear. Number 1, give Buzz more personality, because as he stands out right now, he is too goddamn serious, okay? He is so serious that I just could not bring myself to enjoy his character, like, a lot of times. Now here's the thing, he's not a terrible character, he's not horrible by any means, but he's also not really shining throughout the film. He's just kind of a really lame protagonist to watch because he lacks a lot of personality. He lacks a lot of the campiness that he originally was supposed to invoke in the early Toy Story films. That was the whole point of his character. Buzz is supposed to be a parody of the Space Marine from the sci-fi films of the 90s, the 80s, where everything was very silly and campy. And that's just kind of lacking here in Lightyear. And I get it, it's supposed to be a more serious story, but with a film like this, which is very conflicting of the moods and the tones that it wants to kind of take, you kind of expect something like this to be a little bit more silly, especially with Buzz. And Buzz is just not, again, he's not very interesting. I'm not really interested or attached to what Buzz is going through throughout the entire film, because he's so inconsistent, especially when most of the time his personality is being stoic and really serious about everything around him. I think that it really would improve the film, at least in this one aspect, by giving Buzz a little bit more personality. Give him a few more lighthearted things to do. Give him a more campy personality. Make him a lot more fun to watch on screen, because he's really not that fun to watch. Even when he's supposed to be doing really cool action sequences, I really don't care by the end because his personality is lacking throughout all of these scenes. What I'm trying to say is that he really should have had a lot more personality that he's giving in the film. That's what I'm trying to say. And this actually comes around full circle with my second point, being number 2, make this film more campy, man. I feel like this film really could have benefited from having that very early sci-fi feel that a lot of sci-fi properties back in the day, at least during the 90s and 80s, used to have, where it was mainly silly and it wasn't trying to take itself too seriously, and again, it was campy, kind of like Flash Gordon, kind of like Star Wars. That would have been really cool for this film, but for the most part, again, kind of like with Buzz Lightyear as a character, the film also, in its style, is trying to take itself too seriously most of the time. And I feel like that kind of does take away from what is supposed to be a sci-fi grand adventure. And for the most part, it really doesn't feel like that. Like, most of the time this movie tries to be kind of like Interstellar. If I can give this movie one big positive, is that at least it is better in a lot of concepts than Interstellar. I think Interstellar is literally the stupidest, most fucking obnoxious film I've watched in my entire life, but whatever, that's another discussion. For the most part, it wants to be a serious sci-fi film, but in other instances, it's trying to be very funny and comedic, and these different tones start to clash with each other and they don't blend. It all feels like a mess tonally. It's just confusing why just making this film focus on one specific tone would have made things a lot more consistent throughout the entire film. Number 3, either remove or give these side characters something else to do, because these side characters, Jesus man, they are so annoying. These are some of the stupidest side characters I've seen in a long time in animated property. Now, here's the thing. How to Train Your Dragon, I love that trilogy, don't get me wrong, but the side characters in those movies are absolutely fucking stupid. They are dumbasses. They are literally the biggest inconvenience in those 3 How to Train Your Dragon films. And I can honestly say the same thing for the side characters in this Lightyear movie. Because most of them are really just a type character. It's that one girl that she's afraid of something, but she has to at some point overcome that fear. There's the one silly guy that won't shut the fuck up, voiced by Taika Waititi. And here's the thing, I love Taika Waititi, he's one of my favorite directors, but god damn it, every time I've seen this man in a movie that is not his, he is either really annoying or just fucking... I don't understand why you're even here. And then there's the really explosive woman that, by the way, also builds explosive equipment. It's like, we've seen these characters before and you're not doing anything new or original with them. Which is fine, okay? These characters can work as they are, but the thing is that they don't give them enough of a difference to make them stand out. They just kind of feel like caricatures instead of feeling like their own individual characters. And that's why I say that you should either remove these characters or give them something else to do, because they are incredibly annoying, they serve no purpose, and they just cause more and more problems as the film goes on. Number 4, Zurg fucking sucks, so make him a much more sillier villain. I mean, I think it's especially embarrassing when the Zurg from Toy Story 2 and the animated Buzz Lightyear Space Commanders has more personality than this fucking Zurg. The twist that they do with this Zurg, it's something out of fucking Interstellar, and again, even here, this does it better than Interstellar. At the same time, this is really stupid, and it really takes away from Zurg as a character. A lot of people always said that, well, if they did the whole I am your father thing from Toy Story 2, it would be silly. Bitch, that's what this film needed. It needed to be more silly, it needed to be more goofy, and if you did that, if you kept that silliness with Zurg, I think this villain could have definitely been improved 100 times more. But no, he is the typical, I'm not really a bad guy, I'm just trying to help me and others by doing stupid, heinous shit. God damn it, they've made Zurg literally incredibly boring. So make him more goofy, make him more fun to watch, because he's really not very fun to watch. The design is cool, I think the design of his robot suit I think is actually amazing, but god damn, he really is incredibly boring as a character. Especially with the twist that barely makes any fucking sense. This was a huge, colossal waste of what could have been a great, fun villain, and you just had to fuck it up by making another stupid twist villain that by the end made no sense in terms of motivation or just conceptually. And finally, number 5. Stop trying to connect this to Toy Story. The first sign that the film gave me that I should probably temper my expectations is when the film literally starts by telling you this film is the movie that Andy saw when he was a kid that made him want to get a Buzz Lightyear toy. From that moment on, I just had this tingle in my butthole that this shit was going to be a mess, because from that point forward, I'm just imagining and picturing in my head, especially while watching the film, how this could have been a different film. I feel like by putting this little text at the beginning of the film, you really shot yourself in the foot from what could have been a solo film experience. But the fact that you're forcefully, it's not only that you're trying to connect it to Toy Story, it's the fact that you forcefully trying to connect it to the universe of those 4 films. Why? It's like, by that point, you just elevated expectations for Toy Story fans. There's no reason why you try to connect this to Toy Story in some way. It's just stupid. It really just makes things more messy by the end, and it doesn't help the film. It does not give the film a boost or anything. It doesn't make me appreciate the film more just because you said this is the film that Andy watched when he was a kid that really made him want to get this dumb Space Ranger toy. Then why the f doesn't Socks have toys? Because you are telling me that they did not make marketable plushies or toys of the obviously marketable cat robot in the film, It's like, really? So now you're supposed to make me believe that Andy did not get a socks toy? That is some dumb shit. I mean, this is just completely messy. It's stupid. It's really dumb. Either way, that was my how to fix Lightyear. Again, I don't dislike Lightyear. I don't even hate the movie, okay? I found myself, for the most part, just kind of going along with the film. Now, here's the thing. I enjoyed it as just a pretty Pixar film to watch. Like, I'll be honest, I could just put it in the background just for noise while I'm like drawing or working on something else. But other than that, it's not really a film that I really see myself rewatching constantly. I don't hate the film, I just wish it could have been something more special than what it ultimately ended up being. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and like always, good day, good night, and stay safe.